Namaskaram. Gurubhyo Namaha. Namaskaram and welcome to this concert of Varna Veena to be presented by Ragachitra students, the very talented Ragachitra students. So, there is a saying by Yajnavalkya that a person who is very adept in playing Veena and has a knowledge of Shruti, Ragams, and Thalam will be able to attain salvation without much efforts. So, as we all know, Veena is a very divine instrument in the hands of the goddess of learning, goddess of knowledge, Devi Saraswati. And my guru always used to say that, a person who is able to just have the Veena in their home is blessed to a reasonable extent, is blessed to have that instrument that is in the hands of the Devi. If they happen to be able to play that instrument, learn and play that instrument, they are more blessed. And to be able to continue to play Veena and all through our life, to continue to be able to play Veena, and that he used to say is the most blessed, or that person is most blessed because the Devi is always with them, and so the blessing that is showered on a person who is playing Veena is, he would say, the ultimate. So I always remember that his words, and even though at one point I used to feel, oh, he is we are all very biased because we love to play the instrument, but I have heard this said in several discourses. And in one of the musical discourse by Sri Dushyant, he had mentioned about anybody who prays to Saraswati and who is a Saraswati Devi Upasaka, or who prays to Saraswati, will have a very sharp memory. So I think it's all, so for all of us, it's it feels that we are very blessed, and I would say that I'm very blessed to have had wonderful gurus who have taught me music, who have taught me not just playing the veena and able to sing vocal, but also a lot of values in life. And I'm so blessed and happy that I'm able to work with people who have such passion for music and such passion to play the divine instrument veena. It's a very demanding instrument, no doubt, and it requires several hours of practice. And today, you are going to be able to see very talented Veena players who are all students learning, pursuing um, an education, pursuing learning music on the Veena. And during the course, you would probably would have a chat with each one of them and say how much of hard work they put in and how much of practice and how they persevere to not just mastering to play the veena, but also enjoy playing what they are doing. Presenting to you Varna Veena. Varnam in Tamil means colors or painting. So today, Ragachitra talented students are going to be painting on the veena by playing Varnams, which is a genre in Carnatic music. Most of you who know Carnatic music would know that Varnam is the most complex of the genres in Carnatic music. Geetam, Swarajati, Kirtanai, Varnams. But Varnam is the most complex, wherein we learn the entire, you can say the gamut, the entire feature of a raga, and the different ways of playing the swarams in the raga and the elaborate gamakams that are there in the Varnam. So not only do we learn to play the swarams in the ragam, but we also learn to play the sahityam in that in the given varnam, in that given ragam. So we learn the swara aspects of the ragam, the sahitya bhavam or the sahitya emotions of that, and which in turn brings the emotions of the raga itself, and also the elaborate gamakams which the Veena is very famous for, noted for. So they would say that any gamakam, any nuances can be played in the Veena. So the Varnam gives us that, it's like gives us that board to learn and practice, and it also helps in rendering the raga in a form of alapnaya and tanam for helping us to understand and learn the raga. First, I'm going to invite Nitya. Hi, Nitya. Welcome to today's concert. So, Nitya is a high schooler from Austin, Texas. So, I think Nitya, you started when you were playing at the age of what, 6?
Yeah, I think I was 6 years old.
I remember when her mom brought her to New York, and so she learned the Sarli Varsai and just the fingerings. I think during a week when you stayed here, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then went back and started taking classes remotely from the age of 6. So pretty much Nitya has learned whatever to this day that, so her entire training on the Veena, learning on the Veena has been remote. Like so I would say you are all one of the pioneers in motivating me to do it online so early on, even before the rest of the world could even think about doing online. So, Veena, I know you are influenced by your mom, who also learns and plays Veena. But did you ever think of taking up some other instrument?
I don't think so. Ever since I was like young, I saw my mom play Veena, and I was like, I want to do that too. And so
Got
I like
hooked onto it.
Hmm?
You got hooked onto the Veena.
Yeah.
Do you play any other instrument in school?
No, I don't.
I don't. So,
Mhm.
share with us what is the best part of playing Veena. What is the best part that you like most? What is it that interests you? What is it that draws you to playing Veena?
I would say my favorite part is after I've learned a song and then I play it once and then it's like perfect. I can just hear it played out perfectly. I like that.
Beautiful. And what are your hobbies, Nitya?
um, I like I like baking, but I don't do that as much anymore. And then I like hanging out with my sister. Yeah. And then spending time with my friends and family.
I know you're a creative person. I have seen some of your talent in baking. I think you should continue that. Baking with music. Uh, Without further more taking more time, I'm going to present Nitya. Nitya, the stage is all yours. Take it.
Thank you.
Very good. Excellent. So, how much time did it take for you to practice this?
A while. Yeah.
Thank you, Nitya. That was
Thank
wonderful.
you.
Do you know the name of the ragam? What is the name of the
Yes,
ragam?
it's the Maanambuchaavadi.
Yes. So, this varnam is for the audience. This varnam is the very first varnam that all of us learn, whether it is in vocal, veena, or violin. And not only is it kind of is easy enough, simple enough to learn the first varnam. The gamakams are not so elaborate or complex. Reasonably, it's easy to learn mohanam. And so I think maybe because of the simplicity of it or the very energetic way, this is always an all-time favorite of I I think just like you, it's favorite for everybody. So when I spoke to Nitya about playing Navarnam, her first choice was this. So because it happens to be your favorite, right?
I like this one.
Good. Thank you, Nitya.
Thank you.
So next, I'm going to be inviting Aparna from Maryland. Hi,
Hi,
Aparna.
ma'am.
Welcome to today's concert. So, Aparna lives in Maryland, and I'm going to have Aparna tell us about her profession,
Uh,
something very interesting.
so I'm an SAP integration lead. My client is DoD. So I work at Army Base Fort Detrick, which is in Maryland, and We do medical logistics. I think that's all I could say.
We know. It must be a very interesting job, right?
Yeah.
I'm sure, without going into the technical details, the nature of the job and the nature of the client would make it so different from uh,
The commercial.
commercial any for-profit
Definitely.
corporate organization.
It gives a sense of satisfaction that we are helping people who serve our country. And yeah, it motivates us in a different way when you work with uniform people.
Yeah, you're all playing a very key role in, when you talk about logistics, how you kind of streamline things and ensure that in the midst of, so many chaos that happens, that everything is streamlined for them so they could do their job without any difficulty, without any chaos and confusion.
It is very difficult. We are doing a small part.
Every bit counts, right? Just very nice. How do you balance your busy work schedule? And I know you have two kids, and I know, just for a lot of people who don't know about Aparna, she also volunteers a lot. She volunteers and she does a certain amount of teaching with the Chimaya mission. And one thing that some of us who know Aparna well, we joke about is, if somebody needs any volunteer, anybody to volunteer, we can simply refer your name and number, and they can approach you. So, how do you balance that with playing an instrument like Veena?
Um, so, what do you say? So after work, after I come home, I take care of cooking and kids always. So usually I practice late in the night. After everybody is settled down and all my work is done, I take at least half an hour at night and I practice. And volunteering usually happens during the weekends. I want my kids to also, contribute to the community. So if I don't do it, they won't do it. So I think it's
So, leading by example is what you're doing.
yeah. They also participate in the activities, so I want to be there when they do it. I just don't want to drop them and forget about it, and I just do my own things. So that way, they will be more active in the classes or what they do.
I'm very proud of you. Managing all of that. And when you said after everybody sleeps, I practice, that makes me feel so happy. So, Aparna would be presenting Evari Bodhana. Aparna, it's all yours. Good job. Thank you, Aparna. That was very beautiful. When Aparna was earlier telling us about her practice routine, her, how she balances, there is something that she mentioned after cooking. So that's a point to be noted. Sometimes I joke that, okay, when you have to practice, just tell your family that no dinner. So apparently, Aparna still manages to provide dinner for her family. So that was a beautiful presentation, Aparna. Played very well. Thank you. So if we look at Ninnu Kori, Evari Bodhana, now all these Varnams, a lot of these Varnams are in Telugu. And each of them is about the it has a Shringara Bhavam as well as Bhakti Bhavam, love as the for example, when we talk about Evari Bodhana, the composer asks, Evari Bodhana Vini Ila Chesavu, Ilavu Chesavura. So whose advice did you hear or did you take? Whose words did you listen to? Whose advice did you take seriously and do this? Like not paying attention to me. So each of these varnams, as much as it has the the swara, as what I can say, the swara prastara of the raga, or the elaborate way of doing the swarams, matching it to the sahityam. And so the sahityam is so profound in its meaning. So even when we play in the veena, we try to bring the emotion of the song as well as the raga anubhava to the forefront with playing the elaborate gamakams. Next, I would like to invite Sita. Welcome, Sita Garu.
Good evening.
Sita Garu is from Rochester, New York. So, Sita Garu works for the New York State. Very passionate about music, uh, passionate about vocal and veena. So, she learns vocal and she learns veena also. And so, I'm sure you have one class all the 5 days, right? Either vocal or veena, something.
I have classes 3 days.
See? That is what is called dedication to music. And Sita Garu, often we would say that she would listen to a music, to a song, and she would say, I want to learn this song." And so I have a to-do list that I'm maintaining, and I maintain the to-do list for all the students. So the to-do list will be something where I have noted what I want to do for them, each one of them. Sometimes I would have written it down in a sequence in which I would like to take that based on the complexity. And normally I also teach compositions at a certain point depending on how much of practice time they would have. If somebody has a very busy schedule, if some student has an exam, or at work they are changing new roles or changing a job, or if they have some kind of a time specific projects, I would make sure that I'm not taking a very complex a kirtana or a varnam at that point, giving them time to practice. So I maintain this kind of a to-do list, so the sequence in which I would do it, so which I would keep updating frequently. And on the same to-do list, I would also have a wish list. And Sita Garu's wish list keeps growing. And so anytime she asks for a song, so the thing is, I have to write notations first before I teach. So that is for me. So whatever is the wish list, from there it will make it to a list of me doing the notation, which keeps growing like Hanuman's tail.
I don't know when we will complete the to-do list and all the wish list.
We'll keep, see, the thing is, we have this perseverance, we have the determination, and we will do it. Maybe it may not be right away. Sometimes it takes a few weeks. Some compositions I would be able to do it right away within a few weeks, sometimes months. Sometimes I know it's been also several years it takes, because something or the other keeps coming up. And I also would have my own personal agenda of I want to teach this song first. So I would be trying to push. So I would push that first. So but we will get to it. So there have been compositions like that. Even after a year or two, we had gone back and we had worked on them. So it's always interesting to work with people who are very passionate and who comes up with this. And the thing is, it also makes us as teachers to add more to our own repertoire. Not just doing the songs that we have learned, but also spend time in, because a lot of these songs we would not have learned when we learn as a student. So now it gives us a chance to, listen to that song, work on it, understand the nuances, then try to practice, do the notation. So that process, it helps definitely. And it keeps us, I would say, keeps us on our toe, and you keep me on my toe and my fingers. So tell us a little bit about how you chose Veena, like what made you, so I know your passion about music, and so what is it that drew you to Veena?
Actually, when I was a teenager, I learned Veena for about 1.5 to 2 years. After that, I practiced occasionally, here and there sometime. And when I was in college, I was concentrating on my studies and I didn't get to practice a lot of hours. So after recently, when I joined you, I was actually so motivated by the young students who are learning, doing various things starting from very young age. Also they are doing swimming, they are doing taking classes, they are doing that, this dance, all those things. Then I thought that why can't I do, the youngsters are doing, and I have a little bit of knowledge about Veena when I learned when I was young. So why can't I just do Veena instead of going doing another instrument, the instrument which I already have some experience in. So I thought that I searched for teachers, and then I was able to find you fortunately.
Beautiful.
And also, if you are interested in doing something, you will always find time to do that.
Very true. I fully agree with that. I fully agree. So it's we have to find time. It will not find us.
Yes.
Very true. The stage is all yours, Sitagar. Take it. Excellent.
Thanks, Anand.
That was
Thank
excellent.
you for giving me this opportunity, and thank you for giving me the Varnam which I like. I love Sri Ragam.
Say, that's the thing, anytime when, sometimes I would say, you play this. But then, whenever there is a choice and you choose, which is something that you like most, you also enjoy practicing, enjoy playing. So that combination works well.
And Sri Varalakshmi is there in Sri Ragam, and also Yandra Mahanabhavulu. All these, I love this. And especially in this Varnam, I like the third Chittaswaram, which starts with ni. Every phrase starts with ni, higher ni or lower ni. That gives some beauty, and also the Arohana, Avarohana also. I love the Arohana, Avarohana.
Very beautiful.
The Avarohana is like a zigzag pattern.
Yeah.
Sounds really good.
That just, when we do sa re ma pa ni sa ni pa ma re sa, will be Madhyamavati. But sa re ma pa ni sa ni pa da ni pa ma re ga re sa. The moment that comes, that is that Sri Ragam's beauty, and it immediately, that is even sa ni pa ma re ga re sa. There are some compositions where pa da ni pa ma doesn't come, so it only sa ni pa ma re ga re sa. When that happens, then that itself adds beauty. So that one Gandharam, and that, as you said, Riga Risa pattern, that adds beauty.
And Pani Pama pattern also.
Yeah, so and also Sri Ragam, it's traditionally known as an auspicious Ragam. So, and it kind of, what they say, it brings the Mangalam, Mangalakaram.
So my next to-do list, best wish list is to learn
Lakshmi
in Sri Ragam.
Okay. See, I told you. Now it keeps adding. Thank you, Sita.
So much.
Hi, Anand.
Hi, teacher. How are you?
We are good. How are you?
Good, thanks.
So, how is Singapore?
It is hot. It is very hot.
How hot it is?
It is. I'm terrible in Fahrenheit, but it's about like 32 Celsius, which I think is in the high 90s or low. Somewhere in that range. Yeah.
I think probably, had you been in California now, it would have been similar temperature. I think, right? I believe it's very hot in California too.
Correct. Yeah, it's always a little bit cooler in the Bay. So in San Francisco, where I live, it's always a little bit cooler. But we don't get the humidity that you get here, and so it's it's very humid over here. But it's perfect temperature to keep the Veenas well here, right? I mean, it doesn't like crack and stays for a long time. No problems there. So
Anand though Anand lives in the Bay Area in the US. Today he is joining us from Singapore. So Anand has been learning Veena for a while now. And Anand, tell us about your interest and how you started learning Veena, when, and your journey in learning Veena.
Learning Veena, yeah. So I think there was always an interest. So my mom used to play the Veena a long time ago, and so we always had a Veena at home. And growing up, it did mostly like classical Western music. And I think when I was about 16 or so, I was like, oh, I thought it would be interesting to start picking up the Veena. I think it was something I heard on radio. There was like a Carnatic piece, and I was like, oh, this is very interesting. And I always grown up attending a lot of these concerts, and I was like, oh, it's about time I started. So I started taking classes when I was 17, which is quite a late start, right, as far as Veena is concerned. Took classes for about 6 months, and then ended up moving to the US for high school, and so did a whole bunch of distance learning. Like my teacher at that point used to send me cassette tapes. This is going to date me.
So you learned from using cassette tapes?
It was very interesting. So like the Sri Varnam that you heard before this, it was one of those that I remember learning through cassette tapes that were recorded and then
you should
sent
create
to me
a museum and keep all of that as exhibits.
I know, yeah, especially cassette tapes, right? Who has a player these days?
I know.
Yeah. So it was interesting. And then, when I went to college at Wesleyan, we had a small Veena program, but switched over mostly to Patu because that was the focus at Wesleyan. And really didn't focus on the Veena for a number of years. Always had a Veena and carried it around wherever I moved. Connecticut and then Chicago. And when I moved back to New York, I decided it was about time I started taking lessons again. Looked around, and I think I came across your website at some point, and I was like, oh, it's about time to start again. So there was a bit of I'd say like a 10-year gap where I didn't play the Veena, and picked it back up again. What was it, about 4 years ago now? I would say, right, 3 or 4 years ago, and it's been a lot of fun. So it's just kind of reacquainting myself with the with the techniques and understanding the different pieces that we're playing and things like that. So it's just been a journey which I feel it never ends, right? Every time you learn a new piece, there's like 100 more that you could be doing, and 1,000 different ways you could
So
do that,
just
right?
as I was telling, with when I was talking about, say, with Sita, how like the to-do list keeps growing, and there are times when in the middle of the night suddenly, oh, the song, and then I would immediately try to open one of the notes and then try to add that. And the next day morning, only to see I would have, when I looked at it, there would have been so many spelling mistakes because I would have typed in the middle of the night. And
Yeah, you
then,
got it.
so sometimes what would happen is I would start listening to some audio, some song just before going to bed, and then I would keep listening all through the night. Almost half of the night I would have been listening, and then made a bookmark and all that, and then my mind would be working, and then the first thing in the morning when I get, that's what will be in my head all through. So
Right.
it's very nice learning new pieces, trying it out, and just the way my daughter Sam often says, earlier anything that I learned, first I would work with her, and then now she would say, "Oh, mom, I'm free now because mom has more guinea pigs than me, so I'm not the only guinea pig for all."
Well, I mean, she's still the foremost guinea pig, I think, and then then there's the
Yeah, but
subsidiary
now
one.
I have a lot of you, so I keep trying new things, and then which I also, another thing which I do is with some of you whom I know. Okay, we have a good communication. We are in the same wavelength, and we share the passion, and we don't hesitate to experiment and all that. So I keep adding sangatis, and so what the song would have started with 5 sangatis ends up with 10 sangatis. I would have updated that folder, in the folder with that version, and then somebody else who had learned it a while ago opens it for revision and sees all of these add-ons, and oh my god, what's all this? So I get a text, ma'am, what's all this?
I know it's like taking a 3-minute song and making it into like it's taking a 3-minute song and making it into a 10-minute like sort of garland of performances, right? And that's
Yeah,
kind of like what we're stringing together
it's
in
fun.
some ways, right?
It's
Yeah,
fun.
it is a lot of fun, and like I think it's just I think the possibilities are just endless here.
Endless, very
Um,
true. And the varnams that what we are doing now, and I have, and we'll definitely come back with the same set of varnams, probably with more add-ons, but taking some of these varnams and jazzing it up. I'm
mhm.
sure it'll be game.
Bring it on.
Bring it on. I
Yeah.
like that spirit, some of you, so that helps. You know, it makes it very interesting and fun.
Yeah, I think it's been fun through the through the pandemic. Obviously, like experimenting with different
Very true.
things, and it's obviously this gives us an outlet to like kind of stop thinking about everything else, right, and immerse yourself into
Yes.
the genre, which has been really nice. I think there's a ton of performances that we've been doing at Ragachitra and
Yeah.
just around
It's
the world.
it's nice. What normally we would just do one big performance in the year and then some performances here and there. sometimes for other organizations, or sometimes on our own, but not very elaborate. So the very big performance where everybody participates, we would do once a year. But
Yeah.
the pandemic kind of gave us a different perspective, and now I think this is more fun. I'm kind of trying to like this. So where we kind of tend to do every month or at least every other month, and doing different thematic presentations, and with a different set of people all the time, and
Right.
it's very nice, it's interesting,
So,
and
yeah, it definitely keeps it interesting, which
and
is
it's very fun.
exactly. Yeah.
So
Yeah. I think that's key, right? I think, like,
yes,
you gotta have you gotta enjoy the music, otherwise it doesn't
exactly.
really work, right?
So I tell some of the students, if you are very stressed out, then just relax, just listen to the audio, don't practice.
Right.
Because I always feel that um, learning music and practicing shouldn't be stressful. It
Mhm.
should be fun and interesting and relaxing more than anything else.
Right.
And anytime we are in a position where we get worked up, then we should step back. So I don't really tell, no matter what, you have to practice 2 hours a day. Yeah, in an ideal situation, just like the way they say, in a car would run, will for a certain amount of gas, it will run for so many miles. That's an ideal condition.
Right.
The
Yeah.
same way, very ideal condition is, yes, all of us to practice 1 hour in the morning, 1 hour in the evening, or if possible 2 hours. But that is, we have, everybody has so many things to do. But it's what I always feel happy is, in spite of whatever is the demands of everyday life, we still manage to uh, enjoy music, practice this, and pursue this. I think that's the, I would say that's the way to go.
Yeah.
That's definitely uh, that's more self-satisfying more than anything else.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, no, I agree with you. I think carving out the time, I think, um, you know, just delving into it, right? I think it's about, like, uh, the one thing with Carnatic music is it's not something that you could do, like, on the periphery, right? You either have to dive into it, or you you don't, right?
Yeah,
And I think even when you're listening to it, like, it's not something that you just kind of sit back and you listen. You always, like, try and thinking about, like, okay, what's this that I'm, like, that they're
yeah,
doing? It's like new, the new verse or the new phrase that they're playing. Is this something that I can think about
exactly.
bring over? Um, and so it becomes almost becomes an academic exercise in and of itself. Like,
Yeah. So oftentimes listening to songs, listening to any kacheri is no more just for the sake of listening or entertaining. I like it. I'm passionate. From I love to listen to Carnatic music. That passion, it moves on to, oh, I need to learn this. So it just goes into a learning mode from then on, and becomes very serious
right,
academic exercise from then on.
right.
But I think that's what keeps the challenges with that, right?
Yeah,
Makes us
that's
keep
fair.
going and doing all this. Take it
Definitely,
away,
yeah,
Anand.
definitely interesting. Thank you. Right. So, this is a Varnam in Hamsadhwani. It's a Jalajaksha, Adhi Thalam.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
That was really wonderful. And you have a good time with your family in Singapore. And
Okay.
see you soon back in the US.
Sounds good. Yeah. Thank you very much for the opportunity, teacher. Take care.
Bye, Anand.
Bye.
Next, I would be inviting Sai from California again. Hi, Sai.
Hello, ma'am. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good too.
So, you're joining us in the middle of a work day.
Yes, that's right. That's why I'm in Salwar. I thought I'll wear a sari, but
Understandable. So, on a parallel, on another device, are you running any of your office work?
oh, yeah, some things are running in the background, but yeah.
So,
It's anyway end of the day on a Friday, and I think it's fine. Yeah. Yeah.
that's nice. So, that's
Yeah,
your.
that's Layla in the background. Yeah.
Leila, is she trying to accompany you, or is she expecting you to accompany her?
I don't know. She's like, why? I was actually playing a little bit before this, so she probably is like, why did you stop?
Ah, so now your Veena is attracting your Leila also.
Yeah, she really likes it. She enjoys it.
What breed is she?
She's a Labrador.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay. Probably if she walks behind you, we can see her on the screen. So, you have a audience at home, a very appreciative audience at home. So I'm sure, even during your practice, you have a nice captive audience.
Yeah, she'll be just watching me and just lying down and blissfully watching me.
It's nice that, they inspire with the work and all that. And then even with her around, you are able to play. That's very
Yeah,
nice.
definitely. I really like it and it's very relaxing, so I try to make the time for it. Yeah.
It's very nice.
Yeah.
So, what is your motivation? How do you get motivated?
I get motivated because it's very relaxing. That is, I think whenever I'm very stressed or like having a stressful work day, right? At the end of the day, when I play this, when I play Veena, practice Veena, that just takes my mind off everything. So I think that's indeed like a great motivation, like to keep going and learn more and, excel and master it. Yeah. Yeah.
Very true. When I used to feel like that, that it's very relaxing, and whatever mindset you are, if
Mhm.
you are stressed out or disturbed or worried about something, and
Mhm.
playing Veena always would kind of make, whether that problem or whether that particular situation gets solved or not, it just gives us a very positive feeling. It kind of makes your mind relaxed, and you don't get worried or tensed about that in the same intensity anymore. And sometimes, it often gives us the willpower and mental strength to kind of look at it or even handle that issue with a lot more relaxed way. So often I used to think, maybe it's just that I feel, and it's just trying to um, feel good about something that we are doing. But then, just like what you said, right, I hear that from a lot of Veena students and a lot of Veena players, and not necessarily professionals. Professionals, that is the profession, so they do it. But a lot of people who just take up Veena and play and learn and practice just as a hobby, and just
Mhm.
because something they like doing it. So oftentimes, I think that makes us, a group of people, and creates a separate group, a niche group for ourselves, who I know one of my guru often used to say, playing Veena is actually practicing Nada Yoga. So, and one of my student in Australia, she would say, I think we should all call ourselves as Nada Yoginis or Nada Yoga.
That's a good one. I didn't know that. Yeah.
Nada Yogis. Maybe we could go by that phrase. So it's yours. Time. Go ahead, Sai. Beautiful, very beautiful.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Sai, for coming in the middle of the workday and doing it.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it.
Thank you so much for the opportunity here.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Hi, Aparna.
Hello.
Welcome. So we have another Aparna. So Aparna, whom you saw earlier playing Evari Bodhana from Maryland, and Aparna here from Atlanta, Georgia. They are good friends, and they do the class together. That's another interesting thing. So it's like Aparna 1, Aparna 2. Or Aparna Maryland, Aparna Georgia. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. So is it a day off today for you?
Yes. It's Juneteenth, so declared a holiday.
See, even before the rest of the world or the rest of the country gets it, you got it.
Yeah. Yes.
It's a very interesting history. And it's remarkable.
Yeah,
The
definitely.
historic
Yes.
relevance of that is, and who would have thought that after almost how many decades?
I'd say at least 8, 9, right?
Several decades, and then
Yeah.
a century rather.
Probably.
More
Probably
than a
100 years.
century later, and to revisit that part in the history and making it relevant to the present day, making it relevant to our day, it's great, amazing. So, Aparna, give me a little bit about your Veena experience.
When I was a little girl, we had, I grew up in India, and my dad rented out the downstairs of the house, the ground floor of the house. One of the tenants, he was a Veena master, and he used to teach kids and ladies and others. And he had, it's a long house. It's a narrow, long house, and the backyard is where the Egmore station trains will go back and forth, right? So he had about 5 or 6 Veenas, and he used to practice every day in the morning. And he will go out to teach, and nobody will come home to learn. He'll go out to teach. That kind of, it gave me, a very young age, right? So I was like probably 6 or 7 at that time. And I was very engrossed with that music. And then they moved away from the house. After that, my mother was very interested in me learning Carnatic music. I had learned from a couple teachers before I met this person. And when we went to meet her, my mother took me along. She took me along to enroll me in music lessons for vocal lessons. And then I saw the number of Veenas she had, and I was asking my mother, I want to learn Veena. I was, I think, 12 at that time. And she said, are you sure you want to do this? I said, yes. So she spoke to the teacher, and then she enrolled me in. That was the beginning. I learned for about 6 years, and then life happened. Higher studies, and then work, and then moving countries, and marriage, and all this stuff. And then after I came here, I was looking for somebody who can, teach me, and I can continue playing Veena. I brought my Veena, and then I found you.
The thing is, it's one thing to learn Veena in India,
Yeah.
because especially in Chennai, South India, definitely, there are some Veena teachers somewhere, and Chennai, more teachers for music and more teachers in Veena. So generally in South India, we'll find a lot of Veena players, Veena teachers. Even though there aren't many Veena concerts by itself happening, and there are a number of Veena professionals, or just a handful, unlike other, vocalists are so many, but Veena players, you can just, count them with your fingers, just with one hand. But the teachers and people who play Veena, you will see that so many people, so that's, but to bring the Veena here to this country and learn, that always, it amazes me. It makes it even more precious, because it's not something that you could carry it in a suitcase, or just, it requires a lot of planning to get it shipped, and then it should come, in a good condition. And it's because Veena is not available for sale here that easily. You only have to place an order online or through a vendor from India, get it packed, and then you, even if something goes wrong, there is nobody to repair it here. You have to wait for somebody to come from, in spite of all the difficulties, the practical difficulties, with so many people playing Veena here, that shows that instrument, how much of power it has, that kind of what you call as a magnetic pull, right? And also, I think it's a very life changing, life altering thing. So, because you just can't bring it yourself, like you need the support of your family also to
Right.
to embark on this journey. My husband often used to tease me, when he has to take me around for concerts and all that. So it's like, it's not an easy thing to carry, right?
Yeah.
So need help and all that. I say, well, you couldn't find any other instrument. It was any smaller or any bigger one. But it's when we play Veena, I think the family gets equally involved in that, because it's not just music learning and closing the door and playing it in the room by ourselves. It also involves their input, their support, their help often.
Yeah.
No, there are some students or some Veena players, anytime the string breaks, so the men in the family, either the dad or the husband or the brother, will be commissioned to change the.
Yeah.
So I remember one of my student, when she had to change the Veena string, and she was asking me how to do it, and then finally he said, uh, can I have my husband learn? Can I have him do it? And then he became the string fixer. So it's nice, and I'm always happy to be working with all of you. Each one, your stories, in the sense your choice of choosing your choice of this instrument, and how you pursue this is very.
It's a pleasure. Yeah.
It is. It's very joyful. It's always very enjoyable. And so you're going to present a Papanasam Sivan composition.
Yeah.
Is it Papanasam Sivan? No, you're doing.
I don't think so. It's, yeah.
Niye Pede. That's
Niye
not
Pede.
Papanasam Sivan. Okay. Very beautiful. It is a Papnasam Shivan composition.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yes, it is a Papnasam Shivan. So I forgot to write it down earlier. So I had it. Very beautiful.
Thank you.
I know there are not too many varnams in Tamil, but especially if we know the language, it makes it even more prettier and closer,
Yeah.
because you kind of understand it even more. So very beautiful composition. Thank you, Aparna.
Thank you. It was a pleasure.
Enjoy the long weekend.
You also.
I don't have any long weekend.
Oh.
I don't even have a proper weekend. So every time somebody says, "Oh, have a great weekend," yeah, weekend, weekday, what does it matter? I'm taking holiday, so how does it matter? But anyhow, you guys have a good time.
Thank you.
Bye, Aparna. See you.
Bye.
Hi, Kavita.
Hello, hello. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. You are working today, though, right?
Finish work. It's 5. Friday at 5, beyond 5.
That's nice. So you don't have a day off for Juneteenth?
No, our company very nicely said, "Oh, take all the time you want today and learn about Juneteenth." But it's a working day.
So you are it will be interesting. Let's say there is a call or there is some issue, then you are called from the office. Oh, hold on a second. I'm reading about Juneteenth. I can't join you now in this call. How interesting it will be.
Yep. What that meant is pretty much that instead of having meetings all day, I just had the morning meetings today. So the afternoon,
So you were
meeting.
expected to imagine, that the next day you go and okay. So what do you know about Juneteenth? Having a test.
Like a quiz for the kids, right?
Yeah, it's like going to school all over again.
Yep.
So, um, you took a break in between for how many years?
It has been a couple of breaks actually. I started learning in India and started somewhere in high school time frame, and learned all the way through college. And then I came here for grad school. I didn't quite think of carrying my Veena with me at that point because there were so many other documentation stuff that I had to take care of, and just getting and settling here, getting an apartment and stuff
And
like
then
that.
the tons of books.
Books, yeah, everything, right? I mean, all the stuff that you think about. Of course, parpudi, rasam pudi kind of things too.
The usual, just like the way they send care package, right?
Uh-huh.
Our care package would consist of so much of all these instant poddies that can be mixed with rice, and then definitely a rice cooker.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
I'm sure anytime if they open our suitcases, they would be wondering where are we coming from and what is this whole idea? A rice cooker and some basic groceries like
Pretty much.
the pulses, and then definitely one pack of tamarind. Uh,
Just thinking back, it feels like I can't believe I carried all that to come here. Yeah, but it was good to get started like that because I didn't know the place. And I was going to Milwaukee, and it was cold, super cold, cold that I'd never experienced before. I didn't know the place.
Imagine from Chennai. You are originally from
Bombay.
Chennai, right?
From Bombay.
Bombay. So a humid
Hot
place.
and humid Bombay to Milwaukee, Wisconsin. So winter was
And then
horrible.
the bustle of the city in Bombay, and then Milwaukee would have been so quiet.
That is exactly what bothered me the most because I was still trying to make friends, trying to understand my coursework and what thesis and all that. At the same time, I was getting so depressed because it was getting dark so soon. There was no noise. Those things really bothered me. I think that's when I made the panic call to mom saying, okay, I don't know how you're going to do this. I need my Veena. I need a friend. I have no idea if it's even doable, but find out. So they did. My dad found out, and they shipped the Veena all the way from Bombay to Milwaukee. And I found someone with a truck. One of my friends in grad school had a truck, so we went to the airport and picked it up. So it's funny the things that we have done to keep
Definitely, it's very resourceful. That's what I would say. For you to think about it, and then it's not just when you ask for something. Typically, what any person would ask for is, I want this food, or I want this snacks, or I want this dress, book, something. And this kind of it's shipping a huge instrument, and it's also very delicate. A crack, and then it's useless. And
Yeah.
it's expensive.
It
Right
is
now,
very
the cost
expensive.
of the instrument itself is not as high as the shipping cost. The shipping cost is more than the cost of the instrument itself.
Exactly.
And that's one thing. The parents to take that serious enough and not say, "Oh, it's okay. You went to study, right? You study. We
Yeah.
sent you to study."
No, I mean, in our family, we're
Just
all being
hurry
very,
up and do it, not that, and
we've
taking
all
the
been music
efforts.
lovers. So it's just that effort, but it takes effort to ship to.
Yeah. See, even that's what I'm saying. Even with music lovers, it's one thing to everybody to listen and say, "Oh, she plays violin, she sings, and all that," and support and clap. But this is lot more involvement that is there when there is a person at home playing Veena. The involvement right from creating a space to keep the Veena without it getting broken, and then preserving that
Yeah.
in a nice place, or even that basic thing, just creating a space.
Yep.
That itself, you need the cooperation of every person.
Absolutely. I mean, thinking about California home spaces, the first thing we thought about when we were looking for home for our first home was, okay, where does a Veena go? And I have two. So where do those go? Let's figure out if we have that space because they are coming out immediately from as soon as we move in, right? I mean, that's a big consideration. And those are the times I feel like maybe I should have added on another instrument. I mean, the thing is, I've been vocally trained all my life, so that's there. But still, I felt like maybe if I'd learned another smaller instrument simultaneously, at least I would have had that to take anytime I want. But I never did. I
Yeah,
relied
that's the
on
thing. Oftentimes the size of the instrument doesn't, limit us from pursuing it.
Yeah.
Not just the size. Definitely, practicing Veena is a lot more demanding than other instruments. Right from you have to dedicate time, the space, and you just can't. If you're playing a violin, you can just sit in one corner in a
Right.
chair and play. Flute you can do anywhere, but this you have to have that space to sit and do it.
Yep.
I'm taking it and then putting it on the floor, and so it's very it's and then practicing it,
Yeah.
and then physically also it's not that easy. Time, space, physical efforts, everything adds on to, but that doesn't limit us. That doesn't prohibit us from pursuing it.
Yeah, I mean, I think if that had limited us, I think most of us would have given up already. I mean, each and every story is the same about, making it happen one way or the other, somehow bringing it with you, somehow making it
Yes.
happen, picking it up again. Yeah, that was my first break and second break. You're well aware of my second break.
Yes.
I took a long break because it hit me that back to back two pregnancies. Some brain waves going on there for that. So yeah, I mean,
it's amazing how in spite of all the breaks, you you got back into that, and then raising kids, working, and a demanding career, a demanding job, demanding home life, but still making time.
you make it pleasant.
Yes.
I look forward to that class.
And it's always when you said to pick a smaller instrument, maybe I wouldn't have taken a break. I know a lot of people who have learned violin, we even flute. Forget about instruments, even vocal. As a
Yeah.
kid, they would have learned for 10, 15 years and then completely taken a break and never even taking it up again.
Mm.
For vocal and all, you don't really, you can continue to keep singing, practice, and you don't, whatever you have learned, you can still practice, but they would have taken a complete clean break. So I think the size of the instrument really, it's
It's in your face, right? I mean, you can't ignore it.
the more and more on a daily basis, I keep appreciating my guru's words to be blessed to play the veena.
Yeah,
That's something, we have all been very lucky.
absolutely. No question.
Take it away, Kavita.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. This is Varnam in the Ragam Natakurunji. It's a Pada Varnam.
Very beautiful. And this is one of my very favorite Varnams.
Mine too. It is so beautiful. It is so calming. Absolutely.
Yeah. And usually the Chittaswarams and all the Varnams, they are always very pretty.
Yeah.
So the difficult part will always be, or the difficult part like geography, the dry subject area will be the Pallavi and Anupallavi in the Varnams. But Muttaiswaram by itself, gives us that lilt to
The
it.
flavor to it. Yeah.
Chittaswaram definitely, it's always the most interesting part in all Varnams. Here, the Chittaswaram with the Sahityam for each of the Chittaswaram makes it even more prettier. And so when we play the Chittaswaram and the Sahityam, so we play it twice. So it's even more prettier and it's just so captivating.
I love Padavarnams in general, and Natakurunji is such a beautiful ragam.
Yes. It's like everything, the words, the ragam, and the way the Papnas and Sion had the words, the lyrical value, everything goes hand in hand with that Padavarnam. It's one of the most, I would say, beautiful and a very favorite Varnam of mine. You played it very well. Beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kavita. Have a nice weekend.
Thank you so much.
So, we have been listening to so many of these Varnams. Of course, there are so many Varnams. Typically in Varnam book and the series, the Varisay's Geetams and the Varnam book. I think the Jnanamrita I think how many Varnams? Probably 40 Varnams. I don't remember the total number of Varnams that's there in that book. Not too many. And typically, a lot of us would learn about 15 Varnams, 20 Varnams. A few years ago, I saw in this news item about this Varnam book that was being published with about 800 Varnams. I was so thrilled. I took down the name of the book. I wrote it down, then searched where it was available in Chennai. And then I had my mother buy it and ship it to me. And then later on, I saw, so keep looking for Varnams. So, probably each I would have not even learned 1% of all the Varnams that is there in that book. But it's very interesting to keep learning new Varnams. And so it gives us a little more understanding of that Ragam. It's always very interesting. And yet another favorite Varnam of mine is the Navaraga Malika, Valachi, Vachi. So I'm going to invite Gopalan. Anand, are you there? Just waiting for Anand. There he is. Hi, Anand.
Hi. Hi, ma'am. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Not bad. Not bad.
Busy day?
Yeah. Fridays are always busy with kids.
Oh, with kids. So, but you have the
Yeah. Friday is the beginning of the weekend, so they start their weekend way before. And today it was Juneteenth, so the schools were kind of off. So their weekend started yesterday.
So you have to entertain him.
No, they will entertain us.
Entertain you by keeping you busy.
Yeah.
Nice entertainment. So, Anand, I know that you have started learning from your grandfather. Okay, how was it learning Veena? Like, did you start learning Veena because it was there at home, or because your grandfather inspired you, or what was it that? Because it's not always that what is there at home, or everybody would intrinsically go and take it. It could be this way or that way. So because it's there at home, we would naturally gravitate towards it. But sometimes we would look outside of the home also. What was your experience like? How did you? Was it your choice, or were you just dragged and taught Veena by force?
See, I don't remember being dragged and forced. I was introduced.
Okay.
And I think I just continued with it. My faintest recollection is that I didn't resist it. At no point it was interfering with studies. Because the first thing we would do in the morning, like from 6:30 to 7, we'll just practice it and get it done with. So it was more of a routine time early in the morning with my grandfather. I don't remember ever having when I said no. I don't remember that. It was always it was something that was available at home, and it was just in the environment to kind of do it and continue with it.
Was your grandfather a stern teacher or easygoing because you are his grandson?
He used to teach other students too. He was very easygoing with everyone. If I say let's play without Thalam, he will listen to it. No, I think for us it was more fun. My memories are about having fun. What gives the most fun? That's kind of what we did.
Very interesting, very nice. And did learning Veena from your grandfather, create a more intense relationship with him? Was, did you kind of, because the interest and passion for music, Veena especially, that you shared with him, did it make you the most favorite grandchild of his?
Yeah, I don't know about the most favorite grandchild. I mean, he wasn't the kind who will actually display love and everything, like, or express love the way I think we see it happening now. But I always shared a closer connection just because I used to get this, what do you call, one-on-one time every day with him. And that's kind of, like him for me and I for him. So it was, it definitely deepened the connection that we shared.
The quality time that you spent.
Yeah. And whether it's exams or not, like, we used to do it. It was just like, you brush your teeth, you have your coffee, that kind of thing. So it was a routine, and it was good.
When I used to spend a lot of time, practicing with my grandmother singing. She was an vocalist, and so certain songs that we used to do together all the time. So anytime I play that song, it always kind of brings to my memory. It's like seeing that film in front of me, how we did, and so I'm sure you would also have a similar memories about playing and learning and playing with your grandfather.
Yes. It's like there are some songs which when I play instinctively, like, I'm taken back to those young days where we are playing it, and we used to do these things, like, he has to not he has to close his eyes and play, and then I have to close my eyes and play, and then we'll go play faster, and then you have to keep up, and then we will abruptly stop, and at that point the other person has to continue. So it was like very, what do you call, like competitive in a very funny way.
That's very nice.
It was, see, I think one could say, like, there are like, I didn't learn it very like, what do you call, step by step, right? And it was a very non-linear kind of progression. Yeah, I mean, because he was home, his access was always there. It was good.
I like that fun way of doing it. Very nice, very interesting. So it takes away the fear of learning and takes away the pressure of learning and takes away even that pressure of practicing also, because it's more fun, and so it's interesting, and so it makes you feel like wanting to do that. So,
and it's guilt-free, so
yeah,
you have fun, and then, like, so you make a few mistakes or whatever, like, you had fun, that's what it is, move on, that kind of thing. So yeah, and I don't know if that's how he did it with every student, but definitely he was very, I should say, lenient in the sense that I could get away with a lot of things.
Very beautiful.
And he used to take me to other places where he used to teach. So even those journeys I remember, like, go there, like, see him teach other students, and then come back and go. So, good memories.
Good memories. Very nice. Your stage is all yours.
Thank you. So today I'm playing the Valachi Ragam-Aboghi. It's set to Adhi Thalam, and it is composed by Patnam Subramania here.
Excellent. Thank you. You kind of made it in spite of the busy entertainment that you had, and you kind of entertained us. That was very nice. So,
Thank you for the opportunity.
so I think a few people left already. So, at least I just wanted to thank all of you for the nice evening. And I know, in spite of all your work busyness and all that, you made it a point to practice. And, every time I would say, let's put together a concert. And that too, this we planned it so last minute, right? We just planned it last week. And so texted you all, and yeah, you still made it. That's the game. That's what makes it fun. Thank you very much. Have a very nice, wonderful weekend. And so see you in class, but we'll come back with more concerts. Thank you.
Thank you.
And namaskaram. Thanks to all of you. And thanks for all the support we get from our family, from parents, from spouses, and from everybody for pursuing this passion, and also for everyone for putting this concert together. And, uh, and thanks to all the audience who have been encouraging, supporting, watching online, and for the audience who watch later, a big thanks to all of you, and more concerts to come. Stay tuned. Thank you once again. Good night.